1. Let's give him a few minutes, Coach, to get in here. Oh, they jumping on, Coach, now. They jumping on. All right. I'd like to welcome everybody to the HBCU Coaches Corner, hosted by none other than the swag legend himself, Johnnie Cole, and I'm his trusty sidekick today.
Hey, that's Cedric. Said calling me. Hold on.
Okay, hold on.
Hey, Said.
All right, Coach. Hey, again, we got a very special guest coming on today. We trying to get it. You're watching it live. This is live production right here. This is live production. So we're getting everything lined up with our special guest, Coach Cedric Thomas, the current head coach at Alcorn University. All right. Do you want me to give him a call, Coach? I'll give Coach Thomas a call here, sure. Hey, Coach Thomas, are you there? Can you hear me, Coach Thomas? Hey, Coach Thomas, can you hear me? Oh, yeah. Can you hear me, Coach Thomas? Yeah. Let me see. Can I get you live into patch you into the call? Coach Thomas, are you there? Hold on, let me. Yeah, Coach. I'm trying to get you. Let me trying to get you hooked up here into the call. We got you there. And Coach Thomas, are you live? Can you hear me, Coach Thomas? All right, guys, we trying to go through a little sound situation here. Let me can you hear me, Coach? Can you hear me? You can't hear me.
He can't hear you.
Can you hear me though? Can you hear me?
Hey,
let me see something, Kick. All right, let me see something.
Baby, give me a plug for my phone.
Can you hear me, Coach? Hey, Mr. Campbell, can you hear me?
I can hear you playing and super clear.
Oh, you can. Okay.
And he gonna put on his damn Florida A&M jacket.
Coach, listen, it's cold. It's cold. I got the people is treating me bad, Coach. So we got to warm up. I had to put on the colors today, Coach.
I see. I'll text Coach.
I'm texting him. Just tell him to call when he has a better signal.
Okay. All right.
Coach, I'm just proud that, happy to be the third wheel with you. Like I say, one of my idols. So I really appreciate it. I just appreciate you allowing me to be on.
Hey, Coach Campbell. I mean, Mr. Campbell there. Can you explain to us the madness that's happening over at FAMU right now? I thought y'all had a plug-and-play situation going on, and it seems like all hell done broke loose over there.
Well, you know what this reminds me of? You ever seen a person ain't never had no money and win a lottery ticket and they don't know how to act and all hell breaks loose with the family? Yeah. That's what this seems like. That you had a lottery ticket that somebody cashed in and now not taking any advice from advisors or people that you trust, and you're doing your own thing. And the thing that is really concerning, and I'm going to say this because I need to say this claim. This is Stephen Campbell speaking. I'm not speaking on behalf of Florida A&M University or any affiliates, okay? Because I want to say that. But what is concerning is the lack of communication. The lack of communication with the stakeholders, the lack of communication with the alumni, the lack of communication with the coaches. And what happens is, like, we know we live in a world that rumors travel very fast. So now you have a lot of rumors out there, you have a lot of misinformation, and then you have a lot of information that is actually true that can't be vetted because of all the misinformation. And
wow.
that is the biggest problem that we have. So now you've got a situation where you've got an alleged coach from Fort Valley State that has no ties to Florida A&M. And you've got now the situation where people have not been interviewed, that this has moved down, and you have not contacted the Alumni Association, the Booster Association, and we're supposed to just accept this. So my thing is, if this is your person, and Coach can understand this, when you bring somebody in, Coach, you got to stand on business. You show me, prove to me why this is the person. Give me your presentation. Show me your conviction as an AD, and say, this is the person that is going to lead Florida A&M to another championship. Let me see that coming out of your heart and the vigor that you need to do. But when I don't see it, what do people say? She got something to hide? Why is she not coming out front? And this is what happens when you don't communicate correctly. And this is why I think what we have the biggest issue is everybody's like, where's the communication? Because we know there are coaches that want this job. They have not been interviewed, because I verified that. Coach Roll hasn't been interviewed. Coach Coles hasn't been interviewed. Coach KJ Black hasn't been interviewed. So the fact that you're not even interviewing people, okay? I don't have a problem. You have your choice. But at least say, I at least interviewed these people just for the sake of politics.
So go ahead, Coach.
Well, I'm on the tail end of this one. Is the guy hired, or they're saying, I heard it was some guy from Fort Valley, but have she made a decision to say, this is our next head coach?
Well, Coach, here, okay, so this is where the alleged and what people from the Alumni Association and boosters have been told, yes, this is the choice. But the hire does not officially happen until she brings it to the Board of Trustees.
Well, she takes it to the president, and then the president presents it to the board. And usually when the president makes a decision, they just okay it.
Right.
Yeah. Unfortunately, guys, it is the AD's call. It's not the alumni. It's not, you give money, you're giving money to the school. You're not giving money to make the choice of who runs the school, unfortunately. And that's why when you choose that position is a very, very important position, And there is a way that you do it. You should get 3 candidates, interview 3 candidates, do the same thing. Either, bring them into the campus, let them meet the Alumni Association, have a day for them, so people can get a feel, and if your alumni is strong as Florida A&M, you can make them a part of the process, but not of the choosing process. Does that make sense, Bishop Campbell?
Well, Coach, here's the thing. That's exactly the point. So nobody is telling her not to do her job. Right. Nobody's saying that she cannot hire anybody. But right. So let me roll this back, because see, we got to understand time. But you came to stakeholders asking for money.
Right.
You did. You said, Alumni Association, give me $25,000 for 3 years, $25,000 per year for 3 years. Booster Association, give me $50,000 for 3 years. And then there was an exorbitant amount of money that was raised that you said was going to maintain Coach Simmons. That did not happen. So the next thing you need to do is say, what are you going to do? What is your next plan of action? So we can get behind it and support it. But when you don't do that, and then you don't let anybody know, especially when and this is another thing too, you have to understand, because you can understand this. You've worked at universities. There are people that you better give a courtesy call to, because they're just going to cause you trouble. They're gadflies. And old Jones, class of 62, has been a jackass forever. So let me call old Jones just because old Jones can make me feel good. That's part of it, man. That's part of it.
Look, now, Rocky, you can agree with this. And Ms. K, you agree. We're talking about 2-3 different issues. I get you. Okay, we raise this money. Don't touch that money with this new coach now. You know what I'm saying? That money was supposed to be for to try to keep Simmons. So we're gonna put that over to the side. Anything that she asked for Coach Simmons should be put to the side. It shouldn't go to this new coach now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Then she needs to ask for you guys' permission of, I would like to take this money and do XYZ with it. And I'm behind you 100. We are bad on making thank you calls. We are bad on getting on that phone. Mr. Jones, if he gave $10, damn it, call Mr. Jones. Because you know how he is. You gotta know, them ADs gotta know they're in a service position. They're in a service to serve to make the alumni feel good, to make the president feel right, and his coaches. So she's in a rock and a hard place, and she's got to be able to come out and, like you say, calling me if this is who she hired, president's okay with it. She need to be calling a meeting, an all alumni meeting or something, and present him to the alumni.
So I understand what you're saying, Coach Cole, and I understand and you guys are basically saying a version of the same thing, right?
Yeah, it's just it's got to be in the right pattern.
Yeah. But here's what I'll say, because I'm Joe fan. I'm from the outside looking in, right? And I'm going to go off of what's typical in these situations, right? What's typical in these situations is that you have a program with phenomenal success, right? Phenomenal success. FAMU happens to be a blue blood program on top of that, right? After having a down period for just about a decade. Through that process, the alumni, Coach Simmons and his staff has built something almost from the ground up, so to speak, right? You have a national championship program that was on the verge of a dynasty, in my opinion, right? And in my opinion, you got to give that dynasty a shot, meaning you have to secure the coaches that are currently in the program. You got to secure the players that are currently in the program, and you have to transition that groundswell of support from the fan base into this next season in order to have the kind of success that is expected. What AD Sykes is doing it with this hire, it seems like she's saying to hell with that. I'd rather have everything in question, everything up for grabs. And my question to you and Coach Campbell is, why would an AD upset this apple cart, all of this momentum, not only from the players, the coaching staff, and the fan base? You know, why would she upset that for this guy is what I'm asking.
You saying this guy's a coach.
No. This is what I'm saying. This guy is not connected to the program in any way. He's not a Florida native, right? He's not familiar with the culture of FAMU. To the people who built what FAMU has right now, Coach Cole, he's just a guy.
Well, but evidently, I'm sorry to tell you guys, she has all the right as an athletic director to choose who she wants. She also has the right of the process as long as it meets the human resources. It's nothing about, unfortunately, it's nothing about the alumni. You know, it's unfortunate, it's nothing about the alumni. But if you want to continue to get them type of money, you ought to include them into your process. You know, so
no. What I'm asking, Coach, is just a simple question. Why upset the momentum that has already been established by the FAMU players, fan base, coaching staff? Why upset that by bringing someone from the outside? That's my question.
Can you give me some background on her? How did she get this job?
Okay,
is she alumni?
No, she's not.
There you go.
Yeah, she came from Dartmouth. She actually, and again, she came from Dartmouth. Now she is an HBCU alum, but the thing about it is what was concerning. Let me see. I think she came from somewhere in Virginia.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but one of the things what was concerning is that we had a 18-member panel to select our new AD. We had 5 finalists. She was not one of the 5 finalists. The president went outside of the 5 finalists and said, "You know what? I want to hire her."
She's Grambling. She's Grambling alumni.
So no problem.
That's right.
Yeah, no problem. That's what you want to do. We'll accept that. He to your point, he has every right to hire because her strength was this: compliance. FAMU will suffer with APR, so that's fine. You want to hire somebody strong because it is a schizophrenic thing to have the #1 public HBCU and have one of the lowest APRs in the SWAC, right? But if your thing is compliance, then what you do, Coach, we talked about this being in that first chair. Then you support.
I was just going to say, you talked about this before.
We talked about this. So if I'm a compliance person, guess what I'm going to do? Surround myself with a bunch of athletic people that have done this, have been there, and say, you know what, I'm going to fix this. But I need you guys to understand football, fundraising. I'm going to empower you to fix that or handle that. Because clearly the football was fine. Coach Simmons knows how to coach football. That was very obvious. We needed somebody to say, hey, Coach Simmons, I'll tell you what, I'm going to put guardrails up for Florida A&M to help improve the APR, make sure kids are graduating, make sure kids are going. Clearly, you struggle with that, and maybe it's because you got too many hats. You know what I mean? I'm going to take that hat and wear that hat. See, that's what people were looking for. But then now when you do this, and Coach, you can understand this. How many times have you been in a situation and people put up a trial balloon, right? They just put out a name. Let's just see what the feedback is. Say, if I hire Coach Cole, what do you guys think? Well, you know what? I've heard a lot about Coach Cole. Okay, all right, I'm going to put that in my head. What if I want to coach Coach Miller? Let me say, no, Coach Miller, really, okay. All right, well, no, we're not going to put that out there. But you put trial balloons out there, and we see this. When these lists come out.
Can I go ahead. Go ahead. Then I'm going to talk.
Yeah, no. I don't want to overtalk. Go ahead, Coach, please.
Here's my problem when you put somebody's name out. Damn what somebody say. What is his record? What did he do when he was a head coach? What did he do when he was? That's all what counts. Because everybody gonna take a shot. Everybody got their horse who they want to be the head coach. So everybody finds what's negative about the other guy. What's on paper? What can I put my answer?
So let me. I done my research, Coach.
Go ahead.
I done my research.
Thank you. I know what you doing.
Okay. He coached under Coach Broadway for about 10 years at A&T from about 2011 to like 2019, 2020. No, 2021. He then transfers and gets the job at Fort Valley State in 21. Has 2 seasons, was 8-2 both seasons.
What I need to ask is Broadway been retired for a while. So where was he in once he left North Carolina? And he wasn't at Fort Valley that long.
He went to Grambling. He also coached at Grambling.
But that was earlier though in his career. With prior to 2011, he coached at Grambling.
Right. Then where did he go after that? And was he a coordinator?
He went to A&T. He's been a running backs coach his entire career.
That's all. He's been on some championship teams, but he didn't make no decisions on none of them championship teams. And I'm gonna go back to what you say about what kind of program is Florida A&M. Florida A&M need a seasoned guy. They need a guy that got all the answers because that's what they deserve. There. But whatever is in there or whatever she made the decisions on, I get the question, Bishop. I probably would be upset as an alum too. When we got a guy on the staff that the players like. We got a guy down in Florida, in Miami-Dade, that send players to Florida A&M, been doing that for over 20 years. And there's some other guys that has a standing background, probably better than that.
And Coach, think about this, Coach. And this is something that when I asked the Bishop to come on today, he brought out to me. He sounded very, measured when he was explaining this to me. He was saying, "Hey, Rock, it's not just hiring this guy. It's all these guys that are currently employed have to go find jobs elsewhere. That's also the impact of these jobs. And these guys, and I know his sentiment. I believe I know his sentiment. These guys assisted in building this program. They shouldn't have to go look for new jobs just because the AD wants her new guy. Because they did a good job. They did a great job.
Once again, that sounds good. And you're right, but being a coach is tough. But I'm like you, if I'm sitting in that role, then I'm looking for somebody inside that's been a part of that rebuild. I don't want to rebuild. Now with this guy coming in, what is he gonna do? Is he gonna tear down what's there? Is he gonna jump on board of what's there? I don't know, but I'm pretty sure, Bishop, that she needs to present him to you guys to let you guys know what kind of guy is it. She owe you that at least.
Well, see, that's the thing, Coach, and that's what I'm talking about.
But y'all wanted it before she made this hire.
Well, I think what you do. Well, I think again, you have to understand the landscape. I'm going to again, Rocky. You guys are down in Texas. I'm going to use a classic example. Texas A&M wanted to hire Baby Stoops from Kentucky. He was ready to get on the plane. Certain alumni said, well, wait a minute. You didn't holler at us. And that whole administration had to say, park that plane, get off the plane, and then echo comes from Duke. See, this is what I'm saying. We cannot act like these things don't happen. And what my point of it is that to me, you go understand and the lay of land. And if this is your guy, coach, I'm going to go to your point. If this is your guy, then stand on it. Then you come out forcefully and say, this is the guy that's going to lead Florida and them to a next championship. Yes, and I'm going to tell you why. Have me believe in that. Sell me on it. Because like you said, I can't make the hire. But I tell you what I am a stakeholder because guess what you did? You came to alumni and asked for money. So I have a right to ask you, who am I investing in? I have that right.
Right. Oh,
so if you're asking, so if you're asking me to invest in people, then we want to know who these people are. So my thing is the smarter thing. And then again, it goes back to my point. If you have people that the team has said that they wanted, that the alumni said they wanted, then my thing is to do your due diligence and at least interview those people. You know what I mean? Because you can at least say, I interviewed him. And this guy's still the better candidate.
Right.
But when you don't do that, you leave yourself open to criticism.
Right. Oh, no, I know, without a doubt.
This is what I'm talking about. It is about, like I said, again, understanding the political landscape because, coach, you know, being a coach is a political job. You wish you could just coach X's and O's. How many times did you have to deal with stuff that had nothing to do with football?
Well, coach, that's the same thing with. I won a championship and got let go. So I know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
3 months later.
So there you go. So this is what my point of it is. If you know that this is the lay of the land, there is a name that is a legend that people want. There's a players coach that people want. And you don't even at least acknowledge that. And again, because you're not talking to anybody, because you have to talk to stakeholders. You have to. It's not by saying that they make your decision because you cannot let the alumni run your decision.
Right.
You can't. Because like you say, they have their favorite. Coach Roll is their favorite. Coach Coles is their favorite. Coach KJ Black is their favorite. I'm with you on that. But with that being said, you have to acknowledge, especially when, and here's the thing, that these guys do have a level of qualification to be the coach. These are not people that are not qualified.
Now, is this a done deal? I hadn't read it that it's a done deal. Because we can't go by the windows, because right now in Texas Southern, which we'll get into later, they talking about Hines Ward, and none of my resources are saying that. I think it's somebody that likes Hines Ward trying to throw some on the wall and make it stick. So I did hear about the guy from Fort Valley, but I didn't know it was a done deal.
Yeah, well, Coach, so this is the reason why people know it's a done deal, because it's been put on the docket to present for contract. So you can't, you got, you know, that's the thing. That's how it's getting now.
Yeah.
That's, see that. So it's not.
Public.
So that's yeah. So that's how. Well, what it is. It hasn't been official, but you have to let certain people know. I need to meet with you, Board of Trustees, because this is what I'm. Well, what are you going to meet me for? Because I'm going to represent a coach. So guess what? The Board of Trustees is no more than a FAMU person that calls another FAMU person.
It doesn't. I know most for public schools, most of the agendas has to be released to the public,
and they will, and that Board of Trustees will, and it will be public.
Right. So we can't count the eggs before they hatch. Now, you know that board might come back. You see TSU. It's been over 50 days, Coach. Over 50 days. What Division 1A program takes over 50 days to hire a coach?
Well, let's talk about that situation briefly at TSU. Does a championship program and championship fans deserve to go through the painstaking process that TSU is going through?
Well, she's trying to. It seems like she's trying to. Well, she's on it. You know, Simmons. The announcement came last week and a half ago.
Yeah, the first, but January 1st.
Yeah, it looks like she's on top of it. And
No.
Get a guy in there.
So my point is, can she get this guy across the finish line? Is the question.
That's the question. And alumni are making enough stink that it might not pass. You know, and that's probably the only thing, Bishop Campbell, that you guys got is to make calls. If this ain't y'all guy, then somebody need to be making calls. You know, emailing, texting. You know, the people to be, the powers to be.
Well, here's the thing. The Booster Association has drafted a letter that they're sending to President Robinson for a cease and desist on the search of a football coach because they were not included on the decision. So think about that for a second. We want you to stop, look, because you haven't even. And see, this goes back to your point, Coach. That's, you can ask for that, but that doesn't stop her from making the hire. But the fact that the boosters have felt so strongly that they have to write an official letter to the president lets you know this is not how the process should go. It should not be that. Because again, you get all the stakeholders, and again, and I'm not bragging, but you gotta say something, Coach. It was literally $1 million that is sitting on the sideline that was ready to secure Coach Simmons. And I'm not. This is no hyperbole. I'm telling you what I know. $1 million. So 200,000 was raised, 600,000 was pledged, and another 400,000 was going to come from the boosters. Just various boosters. Let me say that.
That's 1.2 by my count.
Exactly.
And I told you what y'all should have done. Y'all should have gave him some damn years, a whole bunch of them, and maybe he'd have thought about it. And I know what he said, but job security and coaching.
But Coach, that's the thing. She didn't. But see, here's the thing, Coach, and that's what I try to tell you. She didn't even offer him that for that to be a thing.
And just let me say, you said it the last time, and you made a heck of a statement. We're putting people in these positions that ain't been in the third chair, the second chair, or the first chair. You know what I mean? And they don't understand the mass of it. You know what I'm saying? They don't understand, like you just said. I got a booster club. I should want to make them a part of it. Maybe one or two of them. And then I'll make the decision, but I should want to. But unfortunately, at some places, you guys know, they go and find a coach. But that coach is a championship coach. Let's get that straight now. There's a difference between a coach and a championship coach.
Oh, okay, let me tell you what surfaced from a NCCU alumni who called in the Scotty show earlier. It said that the job was offered. Now, this is all hearsay. Yeah. I'm not breaking any stories or anything. This is all hearsay. It said that the job was offered to Trey Oliver directly.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
He gave NCCU notice of what being offered, and they were able to get a package together to keep him in place, whatever that means.
Right. Well, I could definitely call Trey and find the skinny.
And then she then asked Trey, well, who's the next best guy? Who's somebody that is one of your guys or someone who is part of your tree, so to speak? And that's how she got this guy's name, by asking Trey who's up next based on her affiliation with him and them having worked together.
Well, wow. Okay. Well,
so I just, my deal is if that's all true, I don't think Trey Oliver should be making the hire for FAMU. That's just what I'm saying.
Let me ask the Bishop, how well do you respect Trey Oliver's body of work to refer a guy for them?
Okay, so that's the part where I have. She had a relationship with this guy and had none. Trey Oliver was not the linchpin. She already knew this guy. They already knew each other and things like that. They've had a very close relationship and things like that, as far as knowing each other. So I don't think Trey Oliver was the tipping point per se.
Right.
What I will say is I have no problem with her offering Trey Oliver this job because he was a championship coach. He had coached on this level. So while we might not, quote unquote, liked it, we would have respected it. And see, that's what I'm talking about. But when you go down, Coach, to a guy that, again, he's not Chennis Berry. He does not have the resume of Chennis Berry. Okay? No. So if you're going to go down to a D2 guy, right, that is not Chennis Berry, then you really need to sell us on that. Because you can't just roll out the resume and say, hey, he's a championship coach. He's not a champion. He's only been coaching 2 years, head coach. And he wasn't even a coordinator before he was a running backs coach.
Right.
So his resume reads not as strong as you would hope as a top. Because let's be honest, right now, as far as HBCU, FAMU would probably be the #1 football job in all HBCUs because of location, talent, money, and prestige of the university.
Right. Right.
So that means you should have a lot of capable
and current roster.
And current roster. So that means you should have a lot of candidates that you could look at that have been on this level, won championships, and not say, let me go to this guy. Because the problem is when I start blind taste testing, the resume just doesn't match. And then go to Rocky's point, then what do you see most championship teams do? Especially when everything internal is fine. See, we didn't have any internal strife. The coaching situation, all the coaches, that's the reason why none of these kids jumped in the portal. They were like, we ready to run it back. With this group, we are ready. So for you to not even take that into account and know that we were already locked and loaded, and to say, I'm going to take this guy and then recruiting coordinators, getting ready to go to Colorado. James Cozy has a potential offer at Mercer. The defensive, our defensive coach, defensive coordinator, I heard he might have an offer, or it's been told him that this guy comes, he's bringing his guys. So now what does that lead to players?
Well, they are the last that you got to care about when you're making these hard because
you breaking up, Coach? Is he breaking up on your end too, Mr. Campbell?
Yep, breaking up a little bit.
Yeah.
It just started static. Just started.
Maybe it's the headset. Yeah, you can take them out, see if that works, if that improves it.
Can you hear me?
Let me see if I add you and re-add you. Go ahead, try it now, Coach. No, you're muted now, Coach. Let me unmute you. Seems like I can't unmute you, Coach.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, loud and clear, Coach.
Okay. All right, that was me. I unmuted myself. I know sometimes alumni and stuff get their feelings and stuff involved. And it's true that it's just the way that you do stuff.
You're muted now, Coach.
Okay.
Now you're good.
Yeah. Well, I was saying, and you're gonna lose some of your alumni behind that. And that's what happens, Mr. B. Everything you're saying is correct. On maybe that was the way she should say, man, this is a 2-4. I get the hard new coach, but I got the alumni giving me money, what I need. So me as an AD is looking at both ways, saying, look, I need this money, and why not get a guy that they want that's a championship guy? I get it, man. I get what you're saying. But as an AD, you taking a chance on a guy that's coming from a Division II program, he better come in there winning. Because if not, y'all going to lose some supporters. She going to have hell on her hands. And I feel you. But at the end of the day, it's all on the AD that's making that choice and then giving that name over to the president. The only thing I see now that y'all could do is put a lot of pressure on the president to say, no, I need 3 names. Go back and bring me 3 names. Don't bring me 2 names, then I'll make the decision. That's about all you guys have right now. You know what I mean?
Well, Coach, I think the thing that you said it best, and this kind of goes back to, again, your experience.
Yes.
You've seen these things, and what you just said was not based off of just the top of your head. That's based off experience.
Yeah.
To prevent what we're having right now.
Right.
Because the problem is we should not be in a situation where you have, and I'm talking about what I don't like is the uproar and the people on social media, the people on different YouTube channels. And then what I've always learned, I'm not gonna let anybody speak for me. I'm gonna speak for myself.
Right.
And you don't come out and make a statement. That to me does not show leadership. Leaders speak when the country is at peril. Guess what to do? The president comes on and says it's going to be okay, or we're going to acknowledge your pain, or this is what we're going to do. This is why I need you to vote for this. So again, she has not done simple leadership one-on-one, and that's what has been my issue. And I think most people's issue has nothing to do with she's a woman, had nothing to do with her experience. It has to do about the lack of communication. Of saying, you know what, I have this under control, and I'm going to make the best decision for Florida A&M University, and I want you to respect it because I believe I've got a championship coach,
and not the best decision for me.
So,
you know what I mean? Or I owe somebody a favor because it's bigger than that. Go ahead, coach.
No, I don't think this has anything to do with his qualifications or anything, right? But I do think we should put this in some type of context related to where he's coaching now and the magnitude of the job at Florida A&M. Currently, Coach Gibbs' salary is $46,875, right? As posted, yes. And this is posted on the state's website, right? So for you to hand a man over that's making 40, and again, we all deserve a raise, right? We all deserve an opportunity to coach. This guy is currently managing 18 scholarships. I think they're 63 at FAMU currently? 65 maybe?
You're supposed to have 36.
But I'm telling you, Coach, he has 18 athletic scholarships currently.
18 scholarships, and FAMU has 63 up to 85.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is a huge jump in responsibility, right? Again, and with a personal relationship being there already of whatever nature, who knows, professional is what we're going to say. I believe she's risking hiring a person that could be over their skis for the FAMU job. Coach, what do you think about my assessment?
I think you're right on, Coach. I mean, I go hard champions, Coach. I don't hire mascots. I don't hire. On my staff, I had LC Cole. Of course, you know that's my brother, championship. Melvin Spears, championship. Kevin Ramsey had been defense coordinator at Georgia, defense back coach at Tennessee. And all my guys have moved on because of how strong my staff was. You know, I'm going after strong. Look, I wasn't no more different than Nick Saban. You know, I didn't get into personal things. You know, I get into, can this person make me win? You know, and I mean, I feel you, Coach. I wouldn't say that the head coach at Fort Valley after 2 years is my guy. And I'm in Florida A&M. You know, we know how prestigious Florida A&M is. I just don't see how you're going to sell that. I think you going uphill in an ass-kicking contest on ice with one leg. Because 5 and 6 ain't going to get it. 6 and 5 ain't going to get it. You got to come in there and play winning football. Now he's been with a championship coach and Coach Broadway. I can say that. I could truly say that. You know what I mean? But because you've been in the car with speed racing, don't mean you could jump up into that seat. You know.
And let me ask you this, Steve.
Yep.
What is being that the coach is anonymous now, we're going to put a question mark at the head coaching position. What is the expectation of the alumni and the fan base for next season?
Well, see, that's the problem. When you look at our schedule, and honestly just looked at the SWAC, everybody was playing minimum 10-2. That is really, I mean, because we have Southern at home, Alabama A&M at home, Alabama State lost their quarterback and their top receiver, Jackson State lost their whole defensive front line, and we were coming back with 7 all SWAC players. See, more than anybody else. Think about that now. Plus back-to-back stacked recruiting classes, not counting the recruiting class and transfer we were going to bring in this year.
Well,
so we were loaded.
What is this guy known for? Is he a recruiter? Because right now, running back coach just ain't getting it.
Let me tell you this, Coach.
Does he have Florida ties?
No, he does not. No, he doesn't. Let me tell you, Coach, what was brought to me, and one of his main selling points is that he is strong in academics and he's an APR guy, and that he is going to bring stability to our APR, and that came directly from the people that are in the Booster Club that brought that to me, and they were flabbergasted.
Well, let me give y'all some experience on that. Vanderbilt, they hire somebody every 4 years, don't they? And they all 3.5 GPAs, but they fired the football coach. Duke, the same way. You know what I mean? Yale and Harvard, the same way. Man, look, that's just something that they want to say. You know what I mean? Let them players start losing in Notre Dame. And all of them are 3.6, 7, 8, 9, 5.0s. Let them start losing them football games.
You know, Mr. Campbell, what this reminds me of is when you have a good friend that, assuming you're single, and they're trying to hook you up on a blind date, and that friend asks, "Hey, Steve, what she look like?" And you say, "Oh, she's got a great personality.
She works hard.
She can cook.
Fun to be around.
Everybody like her.
Cool in the fan."
And then she walk around the corner. You like, yeah.
So and that's the thing. That is the see. And I think what people have to realize is exactly what coaches say. You have not heard me say, "I don't want a guy because I don't like the guy." What everybody is saying is simply the resume. This resume does not read like a championship coach for Florida A&M at this stage.
It's like giving a guy a chance.
There you go. And this is not giving the guy a chance, program, or job.
Right.
So let me ask.
This is a job for somebody like Coach Cole who can, see, this is the thing what's so fun. And I'm coach, I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to put you on the spot. I take your resume, right? And okay, you're my guy. You know the argument that she can never say? I say, my guy won a national championship, HBCU championship. My guy has put so many players in the pros. My guy has done it at multiple stops. Right. Now, what's she going to say back to me, Coach? You see?
Or they going to go dig up in your
There you go. So just that quick, my candidate already that I have right now on this phone can make her doubt her candidate.
Oh, yeah.
So it should not be that easy.
But he's a Sunday school teacher. You know, he believes in the Lord. But this is what gets me as a fan, Coach. This is what, as a fan, and this happens at all institutions, HBCUs, whatever. You will point out when you're trying to hire a guy, you'll point out that he's a great guy. You love him. He's a God-fearing man. He's works hard in the community. But if he don't do none of that and win, y'all still keep it. But if he does all of that and lose, what's going to happen, Coach?
They run you off, Coach. We run you off. We make decisions with our emotions.
Why even mention that when you're hiring the guy is what I say. Why mention that he's a God-fearing man, he's a family man, he works hard in the community, he's a devoted father. Why even mention any of that if when y'all evaluate the job he's doing, you're only looking at W's and L's.
That's it.
W's and L's.
That's it.
I've never seen a losing coach keep his job because he was a nice guy. Now, it may have happened somewhere. He goes 2-8, 3 years in a row.
Well, what he does do is he gets to complete his contract when you're a nice guy.
He doesn't get another one, coach. They don't renew it.
No.
Look
at Texas Southern.
But coach, when you have a job and they won't renew your contract, it may not be called fired, but it all is the same. Yeah. You don't have a job.
Yeah.
You're unemployed. And I've never seen a guy get a new contract. He works so well in the community. He has the kids working in the community each and every they're handing out turkeys during Thanksgiving. Nobody gets a new contract because of that. Nobody gets a raise because of that. It's about W's and L's until
period.
And this is my point. It's about W's and L's until an AD is trying to hire a guy who's mildly qualified, and you have to add all the fluff in the resume just to make it palatable for a fan base like FAMU. And as if y'all are dumb or stupid. That's what gets me. Like y'all not as sophisticated enough to realize that, hey, this guy's not a caliber of coach that we deserve as a fan base. I'll say this, coach, when now I don't care what kind of surgery a person has, right? But you definitely don't want, I don't care if he's taking out your appendix. You don't want to be the first one. He's practicing all right, coach.
Right. Well, I know, man, I fight with people all day, and maybe because I'm the youngest of 9 children, Mr. Bishop. So I already knew, why am I running to the car first? Because I got less seniority. And because I'm going to sit in the middle. You know what I mean? I'm not going to get no window. So once I realized that, I started learning how to be a follower at a younger age of looking at how things are done. So when it's my turn, I can do it the right way. So I always been a guy of experience. And I know people be like, well, how did you get your experience? You get your experience with being in number 3, number 2, and number 1 of sections of any type of program, you know, any type of job. So when you do get up on the top, you ready for all those issues and problems coming at you right and left. And so you can make the right decisions. I just feel that way. And if you haven't been in those spots, if you ain't been a coordinator before, I guarantee you, I'll bet my paycheck that if you take 10 guys that's been assistants, coordinators, maybe a head coach on a small level, then finally he get that head job, he's more successful than a guy jump from a position coach to a head coach. I guarantee you, they would be more successful when you have experience.
I can't help but think that the AD is making this decision for her own selfish reasons. That's the only thing that I can come up with why she would want to upset a program as successful as FAMU.
And you going for Fort Valley. Did they come in second place, Coach? No.
Second, twice, 2 straight years.
Okay. I thought Allen was up in there too, but Allen lost to Fort Valley. It was a close game.
Yeah, 2 straight years, and he won that Beach Bowl. Fort Valley won the Beach Bowl.
Selfish reasons.
But Rocky, but see, this is why I keep going back my point. And coach being a coach, understand this is why communication is so important. Because you should not have that thought and wonder if you communicate what your goals and objectives are and get everybody, the best leaders let everybody know which way we're rowing. That's the best leader. This is the direction we're going. And this is the reason why we're going. And you know what? You might not understand it, but I'm going to show you, because you should trust my judgment. But you got to explain that to me. You got to communicate that to me. I need to hear your voice. I need to feel the passion of it. But if you're on social media and all I see is a post that you're in the field house doing stuff that, to me, kids do, posting pictures, and then you have the alumni association, the booster, saying, well, why is she not on the booster call? She's on here every other week. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I heard about the weightlifting picture.
Yeah. And Coach, let me say something. When people criticize that, and I'm a champion, I own a company that 99% of my customers are women. So it had nothing to do with that. But I'm also 53 years old, and I understand about imagery and what I want you to focus on. I don't need you to take a stage picture in the field house, because that could be a man look like he's lifting weights, because it doesn't seem like you're taking this serious. Now, you might say, hey, this is the 2024. We got to do. No, you don't. Because, again, the picture I would like you to see is you at your desk pondering over candidates for FAMU. How about that picture? You want to stage the picture? Stage that picture.
Yeah.
Have a board. Have a fake board with names on the back.
Yeah.
But when you're doing that, you open yourself up to criticism, because it doesn't seem like that you are clearly focused, because you're more worried about what this looks like on social media. Because what she said was, well, I was in the field house to look up naming rights and things like, you got schematics of that field house. You don't need to, you walk that field house 1,000 times.
Right.
And if I'm doing a presentation in a PowerPoint, you know what I'm doing, Coach? I got the picture of this wall, of that wall, the front wall, this floor. I already had that put together.
You know, Steve, I didn't have any problem with the picture, her posting the picture. I just thought in this season where she is, if she's going to address the FAMU.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. Today, we made it. Yep, it's Friday, January 12th, 2024. Number one, just days before the Iowa caucuses, former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie withdrew from the race for the Republican presidential nomination. During a town hall event in New Hampshire, which would have been his first primary contest, the Republican told supporters there was no longer a clear path to win that nomination. The announcement came as a surprise, since Christie bypassed Iowa and was going all in New Hampshire. Number two, the U.S. population has finally returned to pre-pandemic levels, but this is still historically low and makes this the slowest growing decade since the Great Depression. Shifting population trends ripple across society, from policy to jobs to healthcare and education. 11 states lost populations in 2022, including Illinois and California, whose declines barely slowed, while 42 states and the District of Columbia experienced population growth, a significant increase from previous years. Number three, January is Cervical Health Awareness Month. Your cervix, ladies, is the lowest part of your uterus and connects the uterine cavity and part of your vagina to where the sperm travels to fertilize your eggs. Some health issues that can affect your cervix are inflammation, growths, and cervical cancer. The What You Need to Know newsletter, along with our partners at Black Health Matters, give ways to keep a happy and healthy cervix. Number four, Amber Minor, a 40-year-old black trans woman, was found in a driveway shot to death in the town of Raytown, Missouri, December 24th of last year. The police report initially misgendered and dead-named Minor, and it had been determined as a homicide. Amber Minor is one of more than 30 transgender, non-binary, and gender non-conforming people known to have died by violence in the United States in the year 2023. Number five, partners in love and business, Kiara Lachey and Kevin Price, are here to help anyone on the path to wellness with their vegan brand, Just Move Supplements. After seeing friends and family deal with diabetes and high blood pressure, Kiara had an epiphany that sparked a lifestyle change, and she eventually built an online fitness and nutrition platform to share her experience with others. Her husband also got on board. The platform Team Lachey offers holistic online dance fitness classes and expanded to include supplements, which features flavors like Mama's sweet potato pie, banana pudding, and Grandma's Lemon Pound Cake, available in an assortment of box and sample packs. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. Life is a series of choices. Let's choose to have a calm mind when faced with obstacles in relationships. Okay. I'm Sybil Wilkes. Be informed, be empowered.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.